Hello, everybody. It's Marcy from wavesofcommunication.com, and I am here with a strategies video for you today. And as always, I am taking questions. So if you have a question for me, go ahead and post it in the comments. And after I get done with the strategies demo, then I will take your questions. Welcome to everybody who's joining me for the first time. I am an intuitive speech language pathologist and language facilitation consultant, and my Waves of Communication platform is all about equipping and empowering parents to teach your children who are late talking how to shift from nonverbal communication into using unprompted spoken language. And these are unprecedented times which offer parents an unprecedented opportunity to teach your child how to use functional speech and language so easily in your own home using the resources on our Waves of Communication platform. So let's get into the strategies now so that I can explain how to do things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 5 different things that many families already have in your home to practice some repetitive language and speech practice. So repetitive language and speech practice is necessary when it's very helpful when you're trying to teach new skills, and it is necessary to practice things over and over in order to get better at them. So that's why most speech therapy strategies that therapists will give you are to have you try to get your child to repeat you or say the same words over and over again, ultimately prompting your child to say words after you. So the language repetition is important for a child to hear, more important actually for them to hear a lot of times than for them to say a lot of times. So the strategies that I am providing for you today are going to let you use these everyday kinds of activities to offer opportunity for your child to listen to target phrases and concepts that you are able to present over and over and over again, so that the information definitely gets in there, because a lot of kids need additional exposure to things in order to pick it up. So these strategies will allow you to be able to present repeated functional language models, not saying the same word over and over again. It will allow your child repeated opportunity to hear those models from you. And when you practice these strategies in what I'm calling kind of a semi-structured situation, like I'm going to explain today, when you do that with your kids in a playtime using functional language facilitation, then you will find yourself being able to use those same repetitive language opportunities during functional things like doing the laundry and getting dressed and all of that kind of stuff. So hello and welcome to everybody who's joining me. Hi out there, Laura. I know that these strategies are going to be helpful for you while you are doing your homeschool speech and language therapy now. All right, let's get in and start to talk about it. For a chance, I actually got to play with some toys today, and I brought a bunch of materials to be able to explain to you. And the first one is this toy. This is a ball toy. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you these things, but I don't recommend you go out and buy the exact same toy. If you are interested, I'm going to explain them so that I can show what I do. This particular toy is, there's lots of variations made by all different toy companies. Fisher-Price has one. This one happens to be from Parents. I bought it at Target in the United States. Actually, I didn't. This was a birthday gift from my teenage children to me back when I was doing therapy. I wanted this toy so much because it provides so many fun, functional, repetitive language opportunities. And you can see mine is really beat up. It's seen a lot of love, okay? So what I'm going to do with this toy, I'm going to show you how to do it. And this toy comes with 12 different balls. Now, if you are in a situation where you don't have this toy, you can collect the balls that you can find around your house. It doesn't matter what size they are. It doesn't matter what they're made of. Just collect a bunch of balls in a container, in a bag. And if you have a toy like this, it's an easy way to do it. If you don't have a toy like this, then you have to find repetitive activities to do with the balls. So first of all, we have more than one ball. You have a lot of them here. So I have the opportunity to do whatever I facilitate 12 different times with 12 different balls. But my challenge is to get the child who I'm facilitating language with interested enough to do this activity with me 12 different times. So I have to make it super fun. And the way that you practice the repetitive part is the action with the ball, not the ball. We're not going to be saying ball 12 times because probably your child already knows the word ball and they already know what it is. And if you're standing there holding it in language facilitation, we don't functionally need to say, look, I'm holding balls. I mean, obviously, I'm standing here holding balls. And if your child's a late talker, they see what's going on when you're doing it. So what I recommend you do is we talk about the ball. If we're going to describe it, instead of just saying what it is, we describe it. That's how we talk about the ball. In this case, these balls are all different. Some of them make noise, like this one, and it's a color. And it's small, but these are all the same size, so there wouldn't be anything different about it. Now, if I had a very low-level child with very simple vocabulary, I might just talk about the color of the ball or what's on it. And super low, I might talk about whether it shakes or, in the case of another one, it doesn't. Uh-oh, no shake. No shake. This ball, no shake. And this ball, ooh, this ball is shaky. I hear this ball making noise. This ball is shaky. This ball, no, it's not shaky. There's nothing inside this ball. There's something inside this ball. It's shaky. Okay, so we can talk about, use the word ball repeatedly that your child already knows and talk about the characteristics of the ball. That's step one. And then if you have something like this, every time you do something with the ball, every single action, it's not even yet about these little fun dealies at the bottom we can use. It's about what do we do from the very beginning. I'm going to get the ball. And always with all of these strategies, you never ask your child to do anything unless you have already demonstrated it for yourself. I realize that I've got the toy between my microphone and myself. So I'm figuring all this new technology out doing this live. All right. So you're going to take the ball. I got a red ball. Put the red ball in the bucket. I'm going to call this something, and I'm going to talk about the ball moving, and what I'm doing with it, I put the ball in the bucket. And I stretched out the in part because maybe that's what I want to emphasize right now. Instead of what are we doing with this ball in the bucket? And when I emphasize it, it's going to call the child's attention. They're going to look at me and they're going to watch me as I slow-mo put the ball in. And then I'm going to drop it. Ready? Here I go. I'm going to drop it. Ready? And see how I did that? I said, ready? Now I've got the child's attention. Here I am with this toy. And maybe this toy you have seen 500,000 times in your house, and maybe you dug it out of the bottom of the toy box. It doesn't matter. You're playing with it different. You're putting on a show right now. Just like I'm demoing this for you, you're going to demo for your child. Look at this cool bucket I got. And I got a red ball, and the ball's shaky. I'm put the ball in. I can repeat the word in, or I can stretch it out, or I can alternate in the bucket or in, right? Either way, I have used ball, and because I didn't focus on the word ball, I know the child knows ball. I focused on in and the bucket. In the bucket. Now you can't be so slow that the child's going to be bored. You have to be interesting enough so this child's going to follow you. In the bucket. Red ball in the bucket. And then you watch it together. Look, I'm going to call the child's attention as I look at it. Drop it. I'm going to drop it in. Look, it went around, 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 around. I said that 5 times, even though it only went around once. But around is one of those things that you can also continue. It went around, 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 and now it's gone. Uh-oh, it went down. Where did it go? The ball is gone. And in this case, I moved it around so it came down. But when the ball is gone, then we have the mystery of where did it go? And you get to do one of these things and you demonstrate for your child. Let me turn it. I'm going to turn it. And you talk about the things that you are going to do. And your child, by the time they watch you stretch out this thing, and then you've got a whole bag of balls and they know they're going to be next. They're going to be ready to start to want to do this thing. But you stretch it out. Do your whole demo. Look how fun it is. Look how cool it is when I go through all the process with this one ball. And then you give your child the opportunity to choose a ball. Oh, and then you talk about the ball your child chose as if you saw it for the first time. You picked a orange ball. Look at that ball. It's orange and green and spots and whatever. And maybe it's more than your child can handle, but it's a lot of language that you are demonstrating and dictating to your child so that you're sort of doing the play-by-play of the whole situation. And you're going to go through each one, emphasizing those keyword phrases. Ball in the bucket, watch, round and round and round. It went down, push the lever, out, and then at the bottom you open the door. And what I used to do was make them wait and get all the balls in and then open the door and let them all come out at the same time, so, or have them reach in and grab one at a time and put it back in. Make sure that they do a whole bunch. You can use, if your child has a short attention span, one ball over and over, or you can use a lot of different balls in this. Now, if you have balls that are too big, maybe you've got a football and a soccer ball, or any kinds of those sort of things. Maybe you've got all that going on, and you've got a bucket, a clothes basket, or your bed. Throw your ball on the bed. Basketball on the bed. I throw basketball on the bed. And then let your child choose which ball they're going to throw and have them try each time. So throwing, putting. Now, throwing and putting is what you do with balls, but it also is what you do with a lot of other things. So you can carry these same carrier phrases that you've done repetitive over to other things like the laundry and the dishwasher, and you're going to have the red shirt in the washing machine and out. Remember, you're going to take them out eventually when they're drying. So you'll use the out phrase, shirt out of the dryer and socks out of the dryer and pants out of the dryer, and here's your dinosaur shirt out of the dryer. And your child will be listening, like they'll learn out of the dryer really fast. And because they know that and it registers already in their listening, they will connect the added on vocabulary with these carrier things that they know. And this was a trick that I used all the time with the kids when I went to see kids in therapy, was give them a repeated experience like this and then coach the parents in how to do a similar experience in your everyday life with pouring things in, or emptying the dishwasher, the clothes, the lawn, the trash, all that stuff, in and out. Are you taking it in? Where is it going? Out? All of that you're doing over and over and over. You take out the trash a lot of times. You put dishes in the dishwasher all day long. You might be doing a lot of laundry where things are going in and out of those machines. This is your opportunity to extend the repetitive phrases from your play into your everyday life. So that's the ball toy way to use repetitive. The next thing that parents have a lot of is books. So I've got a couple different books here, and the opportunity for repetitive information or repetitive language facilitation with books can come from two ways. From playing with the book itself, because all through the whole book, each individual page, you have to turn the page, and then you look at something. This book, by the way, is called Hug Time. I want to give a shout out. It's a very cute little book by Patrick McDonald. And so the Hug Time book, you look, this is a book about hug time. You talk about what's on it and then you turn the page. And books that have just a single picture on the page, talking about turning the page is going to help you get more consistent attention with the things that are on the page. Unless they're too bent on turning the page, you try to get attention to what's on the page, and then we turn the page. First, we have to look and touch what we see. Then we turn the page and we look and we touch what we see. And we look and we touch what we see. And we talk about these things and you talk about what you see. Don't worry about reading the story unless your child really wants you to read the story to them. If they're a very limited verbal, then you just talk about the pictures. Don't worry about the story, especially if your child has short attention. Just talk about what you see on the page and turn it. I see and I turn the page. The more you do that with your child, eventually, as they get more interested to sit to turn pages with you, you can start to extend what's exciting on that page that's going to get your child's attention. You read books about the topics that they love, with the characters that they love, that they know from TV or other things that they know. That's how you attract a child to the book, just looking and turn the page. Look and turn the page. And once you get that far with your child, you'll get better attention for books. Remember, in all language facilitation strategies, we're never prompting children to say words. At no time did I ever say ball or say throw. I modeled the language myself with repetition. And if it's fun, kids will pick it up and say it on their own. We're never asking kids to say what we say. We're just modeling super fun language that they can't help but want to learn from you. And that's how you make it work. That's the natural way. When we talk and when we want to listen to something, it gets in there. If it's annoying or repetitive or boring, then we tune it out. And these activities must be fun and attractive for you to keep your child's attention for all the different repetitions you're going to do. So moving in, so book, the first one is just look at the pictures and read the page. And some stories, if your child is at a story reading stage, have a lot of repetitive vocabulary. This book is called Hug Time, and in the story, the character goes page by page hugging a different animal. So the same theme, the same activity happens in every picture, but every picture is a little bit different. So the story evolves. And when you choose books that have a repetitive theme to them, then you can carry easily from each page of, instead of just labeling it, you can say, oh, now he's hugging a hippo, and now he's hugging an alligator, and now he's hugging a mouse. And all that and now he's hugging is repeated page after page after page. And your child, if you just did it only one time, your child might miss that and now he's hugging, because they'll just focus on hippo or alligator or whatever, and stretch out that language, make it nice and long and with a repetitive thing. And even if you don't have a repetitive story that's told in the story, if you've got a book full of the same kind of vocabulary, like a book full of vehicles or a book full of animals, then you talk about one characteristic that you evaluate each time. So, for example, you could talk about animal foods. Oh, this animal eats It's a monkey. He eats bananas. Turn the page. Oh, look, now we're looking at a kangaroo. Kangaroos eat grass. So this kind of way you can make up a story, even with a picture book that has no story, by carrying the continued repeated theme through the whole pages. And if your child bails on you halfway through the book, that's okay. We're never forcing kids to do all 12 balls or all 10 pages or whatever. Your goal is to try to get through an activity, and your responsibility is to be entertaining and engaging enough to keep your child with you for the whole time. That's on you. That's what therapists have to do. And now that you are the therapist for your child, you have to be as attractive as those ladies and gentlemen who used to work with your kids. You've got to do it yourself. And that's how you do it. That's how you do these repetitive things. Okay, next thing, sorry, everybody, is blocks. Okay, so I've got some blocks here, and these blocks, they tell a story and they have pictures and numbers and things like that on them. So with blocks, it's very similar to the balls. We do certain things with blocks, right? If they're Legos, we stick them together, we stack them, we build, we line them up, and they have things on them. So while you are, let's say, stacking, my favorite early thing, you can start with 3 blocks alone, and you say, I put the dragonfly on, and I put the dog on. Oh, the dog is up. And now I put the bunny on. And all that I put the blank on is the repetitive language, right? These are the phrases that your child can use. You put on shirts, you put on, things on the table, you stack, you build. All of those vocabulary you have a chance to repeat each time you build something. All right, I'm gonna build with the dog, and I'm gonna build with the bunny. Or I got them backwards. So you'll know that this is what your repeated vocabulary can be with blocks. Whatever activity, whatever verb you're doing with the blocks, your goal is to use the same sort of similar phrases, and they don't have to be exact. In fact, they shouldn't be exactly the same, because the more rote and repetitive and droney you are, the less your child will want to pay attention to you. So it has to shake up. You use their name, you speak to them in third person and first person. Mommy's doing this and I am doing it too. So you use pronouns and proper names, mix it all up. Just pretend your child isn't late talking and talk to them like they understand everything, and use careful talking and repetitive speech, and they will start to understand everything. So that's how you use blocks for repetition. All right. And then we're moving on to the next thing is the puzzle. All right. Woo! Sorry, everybody. Getting my materials here. It's rare for me to have props, and I get to get all my toys out to do this. All right. So this puzzle is, it's not a typical usual puzzle, but it's one of those ones that has doors on it. And I used to have an entire box full of puzzles when I was a therapist. And when I got rid of all my stuff, this is the only thing that I kept. I kept one box of stuff because someday I'm going to have grandchildren. Not very soon. If my children are watching me, they're not ready. But someday I will have, and I've kept these toys also to use to explain to people on videos. So this is the one puzzle that I have that I use. It's a Melissa and Doug puzzle. I love all of the puzzles that have individual things like this. And this puzzle has lots of repeated language opportunities. You can open and close doors. Inside each one, there are themes. So inside they match. Inside the farm is the cow. Inside the cookie jar are the cookies. Inside the doghouse is the dog. So inside the is a repetitive phrase. Open the door, close the door, find the thing. Where's the dog? I put the dog in the doghouse. That put it in, take it out. Where is it? Ooh, does it fit? And so that's the other thing. These are they match in their environment. That's what the puzzle is, the problem solving bit about this. In addition to the fine motor opportunity to open and close doors and the opportunity to see surprise. I wonder what's inside the barn. That whole I wonder what's inside is a wonderful language phrase to teach your child the concept for, because I wonder what, is going to come in the mail today. I wonder when we'll be able to go back to school. I wonder is a great thing to teach. I wonder where this lion piece fits. Does it fit here? No. Does it fit here? Yes. So those are the kind of repetitive language things you can do. But be cognizant, of course, conscious of those phrases that you're using. Structure them out yourself. Find what works for you and use those phrases repeatedly. And I promise you, after you do an activity like this for 10 or 15 minutes with a lot of put in or build it or stick it or it's going down, 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 or whatever you say a lot of times, you will find yourself using those phrases later when you're brushing teeth and you say brush, 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 brush. We are brushing, brush your teeth, and we are brushing, brushing teeth. So you're going to repeat not single words, right? With language facilitation, we never use one word over and over and over and over again because most of the time it's just a label that you're trying to get your child to say when you're teaching those things. If you are teaching functional language, you have to teach it in the moment with activity that your child can match what they see with what you're saying, what they're hearing. And that way they will integrate the language that they have memorized because they know parts of what you're saying. They know the names of the animals or the characters on the puzzle. They know they know under. They might know a lot of concepts. They might know the colors of the things, but they don't know any of those words for how to manipulate those pieces. If you're matching or you're wiggling or it's stuck, those are the vocabulary that you want to see every time over and over and over. Make it fun in phrases and your child will listen to these things. And it'll also extend your playtime with rather than just stick them in and yay, because your child's done that 100 times. This is your opportunity to find new ways to play with the toys that you have in your house. So these puzzles are a great way. You can mix all the pieces up. I've done a whole video on just using puzzles for language facilitation. But the repetitive actions that you do with the puzzle pieces, that's where the repetitive language part comes in. And those carrier phrases are what gives your kids the meat of conversational language. They just have this vocabulary that they label, but they don't know how to use it functionally. And these little phrases, while you do these activities over and over and over again, you will teach a ton of language with these things, a ton of functional language that you can't have flashcards for put it in over and over and over again, right? But you can say put it in with clothes or blocks or balls. So that's how you're going to use that repetitive language. And then there's one more. And then I have a bonus at the end that's actually my favorite. So these are little objects. I'm going to show them to you. They're little different shapes. There's trees and houses and people. Here's a person, right? And they're different colors. It's just really sorting things to have. If you're going to do any kind of sorting activity, you will sort things by their color or their shape. I've done this with vehicles, and this is just a really nice one that, you can get a lot of legs out of a pile of different little objects, especially if they're different sizes. These are all the same size. If I had big and little ones, you could do a lot of different sorting, right? So with these, though, they just have the color that's different and the shape that's different. So when I pull it out, I'm going to use my description repetitive language to talk about why that piece goes in that pile or bucket or cup or whatever you're going to put it in. So you pick it up and you say, I choose, right? Because again, I choose is a big thing and you're going to demonstrate. Now you demonstrate first and let your child take a turn. But if you take turns with this, then you're going to always be able to model every turn. And if you have older children or children who are talking, you let them go first and let your late talking child go last so they can see you model it and every other child model it before it's their turn. And make sure that everybody takes their turn and everybody uses the same kind of simple, descriptive, and because you'll lay out the structure for how we say it. So you pull things out. Let's see. Maybe you even hide the things that you can't see, so the child can't choose. They have to be surprised. I always love the surprise. So, oh boy, I chose a blue man. Of course, it's bad for my background. Of course, I chose an orange dog. It's so little. It's a little orange dog. It goes in the orange pile. Or I chose a dog, an orange dog. It goes in the dog pile. So it goes in and I chose are the repeated phrases that you can use and match with the vocabulary that labels the things that most kids already know. And it will make it so easy that they can't help but get it correct. And of course, every time they put it in the right thing, you do your yay, you did it, right? You got it correct. So that's how you're going to use sorting things for repetitive language. Now, think about again, what in your house do you sort out? You might sort laundry. You might sort silverware in the flatware in the drawer. You might sort toys, put all the cars in one place, the balls in another place. All of these things are sorting activities that you can use the same vocabulary. This goes in the blank place because it's blank. It goes there. Why? Why is that place designated? Just like we have things that don't go in places, like the dog doesn't go in mommy's bedroom because he always jumps on the bed, right? All that, why does it go and where does it sort? Those functional language things can be learned during a sorting activity if you take those carrier phrases and use them also in the everyday life. So this is going to be a great way using sorting to teach your child how to use new language structures. All right. And then the last one that I have, I'm going to grab my book because right before I tell you my last favorite strategy about how to use cars, I'm going to remind you about my book. This is my book. It's called If It Isn't Fun, It Isn't Fun. Teach your child to talk faster than speech therapy. And right now, my book is available on Amazon and Audible. And it teaches you the whole process of how to uncover the blockages in your child's spoken language. And so that strategies like I'm demonstrating today will work seamlessly for you, because you need to get your child in a mode where they're ready to listen and learn from you before any of these kinds of strategies are going to work. If you're still putting out fires in your house and you haven't got your plan together, you need to start to think about a way to get that going. We're going to be out of school for the foreseeable future. It's not going to be back, even if it does come back the way it looked before. So now is your opportunity to develop your homeschool language facilitation plan. You can learn how to do that in my book and also in my independent study course. I have a course available. It's on my website, wavesofcommunication.com. It's an independent study course that teaches parents how to do everything that I coach you and how to do. And if you need help to work with me, then also on my website, you can find out how to be a client. But I made that course right now. It's typically $500, and right now it's only $99. So you can learn the whole process on how to develop spoken language with your child. It goes all the way through conversational language, even in bilingual households, in the independent study course. And you can check out out wavesofcommunication.com. All right, last strategy is about using vehicles. Now, I don't have any toy cars anymore, but I do have this one that I'm going to make a representation. And so I'm going to use this book as my surface. Now, one of my favorite things with the very earliest little kids that I worked with and kids who really didn't have much interest in me, they loved this strategy. And even the tiniest kids, even toddlers love it. So you take your car and you put it on the edge of your surface. And you can use a book or a coffee table, something that's finite, something that has edges where you could fall off, right? If you kept going. And the repetitive language is go, 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 stop. And if I had another hand, I'd put my hand right here. Stop. And that whole idea of, oh no, if you keep going, you'll fall off, right? You want to make sure you communicate that non-verbally with this action. Go, 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 stop. And a lot of kids will want to crash through and break and fall down. That's okay. Use the vocabulary. Did you stop or did you fall? Excuse me. And if you don't want to fall, then go, 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 stop. Turn around. Go, 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 stop. Turn around. Kids love this. I don't know why kids love this. And then at the end, so if you have a lot of cars, you can go back and forth with your one car. And then at the end, what you do is you have your box underneath. That's why I have my box here, because they'll fall off either into the container where you're cleaning them up. And this is how you clean up. Excuse me. So at the edge of the coffee table, you put your bowl or your container where all these little pieces go, your cars or whatever you have. And you drive them off the edge. You go, 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 bye, car in the bucket. Woo, drive off, crash, wee, whatever kind of noises go with that. And you pair it with that in the bucket, in the container for repetitive language. So you've got your go, 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 stop. You can use that whenever you ride in your car, whenever he's driving a car on his own, go, 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 go. You'll find yourself using that a whole bunch of times. Now, I know that it is one word repeated, but it is actually just an expression in that case. We know the car is going, or you're just really saying a word long. Go, stop. And even though they are strings of single words, it's still a connected idea that goes together. So that's why even the very little kids who don't know how to put an idea together at all, they get this concept and they learn that, wait a minute, there's consequences, right? If I go off the edge, I'll fall. But if I stop, I'm safe and I can turn around and go back. And think about turn around and go back, that concept to teach your child to have if they are getting in trouble. Turn around from that cabinet and go back to your room. Those kinds of strategies that repetitive go, 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 stop strategy will provide your child with the understanding of that concept so that you can use it later when they're going and back and forth and running around and doing their thing. So that is those were 5 plus a bonus 6th strategy to help you use your time at home with functional toys and activities during everyday super fun play to teach your child how to move from their nonverbal communication, how to understand how to use spoken language functionally so that they can share their ideas, the things that they have memorized, the movies that they see in their head. You demonstrating and facilitating spoken language, that's what helps kids learn how to use that language functionally. And that's what these strategies are for. So I hope these strategies were helpful for you. Please check out the resources on my platform all over the place. Facebook, there's a group, the book, podcast, videos on YouTube. There are resources for you to get this done. And I promise you, we're here to help you through this whole time that is unprecedented opportunity for you to teach your child and send them back to school whenever they go back to school with more speech and language than they have right now. The strategies on my platform will help you get that done. And I will see you all on my next live, which is going to be Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. Have a great week, everybody. Get a lot of language facilitation done, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.